Well, hello, my name is Jenny, and I will be hiking the Appalachian Trail starting in just over a month. And before I leave, I wanted to give my subscribers a chance to ask me some questions. I did get 11 questions, so I'm going to read them off and answer them. So the first question is, are you hoping to have a solo experience, or are you looking forward to finding your tramily on the AT? And I would say a mix of both. I really do want to meet people. I want to make friends, but I also want to be able to drive my own hike. So I don't want to have to hike faster or slower to meet up with people. I think sometimes it might happen naturally, and who knows, maybe it'll help motivate me to push myself a little bit further in some cases, but I need to keep my own goals in mind as well, and so I'm not kind of making that a priority, if that makes sense. I won't be crushed if it doesn't happen. The next question is, are there any hostels that you are looking forward to staying at? And I don't have like a list of ones that I'm wanting to stay at, but the first one I'm staying at for sure is the Hostel Around the Bend. That's in Georgia, and I've just heard some good things. But I think what it comes down to is any place that's warm, dry, good Wi-Fi for uploading videos will be a welcome treat. Someone asked if I am training for the AT, and if so, how. I made a whole video about this already, but yes, sort of. I don't live close to the mountains, so getting out and hiking up mountains every day isn't something that's possible for me. I do try and get out on the weekends whenever I can, but other than that, a lot of my training has been at home, keeping up with cardio, resistance training, and stretching my legs, because my ankles are kind of like a problem area for me, and so I want to make sure that's not an issue when I start the trail. But for sure, the best training is actually getting out into the mountains and hiking with weight on my back, and that's something I notice when I do that. I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sore now. I should keep doing this. And then timing and work and getting dark early doesn't always cooperate with that, but trying to do that whenever I can. Someone asked if I have all of my food figured out. I'm planning to do sort of a mix of resupply boxes and supplementing with things I find in town or in hiker boxes. Beforehand, I pre-bought a lot of backpacking meals so that I would have stuff that I could send to myself. I also got some extra things to add into those for extra calories and protein and fat. For breakfast, I'm not a huge breakfast eater, but I will be doing some oatmeal packets and some powdered tea mixes for the morning. And then once I actually get going, moving, I like to snack or have like a second breakfast. So I'll probably be bringing some snacks like granola bars. Then for lunch, I'll probably do some sort of tortilla meal with tuna or chicken. I'm gonna make another video to go more in detail about food. I also want to address the next question because it's related. How do food drops work? Like, how do you know where and when to send care packages? So you can send yourself a box to a post office. You send it via general delivery and they'll hold it for you. But keep in mind, if you do that, you are at the mercy of the post office's hours, which can be pretty limited. Another option, if you know where you'll be staying, you can send it to the hostel or hotel that you're staying at. You just have to make sure that you check with them ahead of time if that's okay, and if there's any rules that they have about time frame that they can hold it, or and what carriers they will accept at that location. I did learn the hard way when I did the long trail in Vermont that a business has to actually have a mailbox in order to receive packages from the United States Postal Service. So make sure that they can actually take boxes from whatever carrier you're sending. If you don't know where you'll be or when, you can pack a box but leave it open at home, and then have someone like a family member or friend who has access to your home have them send it to you whenever you figure out where you will be and when. That would also allow you to kind of make changes to what you want in the box, because your tastes could change over time and maybe you won't be craving the same foods. You can also do this yourself, where you buy, let's say you buy extra food at a store, but you're not going to use all that food. You can mail it ahead to yourself at whatever the next place you'll be staying is. And that way, if you know, like, oh, that place doesn't have much of a resupply, you can kind of buy extra to plan for that. Any particular sites you're looking forward to? I'm probably most excited about Virginia. There just seems like there's so much to see there, like ponies and the Virginia Triple Crown and the Shenandoah National Park. I'm picturing that by the time I get there, it's going to be like spring in full bloom. So I think it's going to be really pretty. Other than that, I'm sure most of the trail is going to be pretty beautiful. You getting nervous? Getting closer quickly? Yes, I would say I am getting nervous, and this has been kind of a relatively recent thing where I've felt like a spike. And I think it's because as the time gets closer, I'm just in my head, I'm like, oh, am I ready? Like, have I got everything squared away? And so I feel like inside myself, I'm kind of scrambling to mentally prepare myself to be away for 5 months or 6 months. So yeah, I would say it's getting pretty real. I know when I get out there, it'll be fine, but I think just that initial, I'm getting nervous, yeah. And that kind of leads nicely to the next question, which is, what is your biggest fear? Why, and how do you plan to mitigate this fear, especially on the mental scale? FOMO, fear of missing out on whatever fun things that are going on at home, things that might require my attention and I'm not around to take care of it. I've done Thru-Hikes before, so the things related to Thru-Hiking is not very scary to me. It's just the being away from home that long. I talked about this in my prep video already, but having someone who can take care of my home while I'm away. Also the newsletter thing, being able to stay updated on what's going on at home, and having access to email, having the satellite device if I don't have service. Those are all things that are going to help me at least feel better about being away. I think over time I'll get used to being on trail and I won't be as nervous. On a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being extremely excited, how excited are you? And that was all in caps. How excited are you? I was probably a 7 up until very recently, and then the videos of other people on trail right now started coming out, and that's gotten me more excited. So I would say, and I'm not like peak excited right now. I'm probably like an 8 still, but there's room to grow. What draws you to the outdoors? This is such a simple question, but this is probably the hardest one for me to answer. I haven't always been an outdoorsy person. Growing up, I didn't play outside very much. I was kind of afraid of going outside, at least by myself. Our neighbors had these big black dogs that would, like, if I tried to leave out the front door, they would instantly come like barking and running at me. And as a small child, I was very scared. I always saw the outdoors as a scary thing until I was, I think, 13. I went out tubing with my sister and her fiance at the time. And we went out to a rural location where there was a river that we'd passed. And hey, let's tube on that. It'll be fun. And we got all geared up. We got our tubes, we got our water shoes. We got in the river, and it was fun at first. We were kind of like floating around and everything. And then the river became too shallow for the tubes. So my sister's fiance kind of went ahead, because what we'd done was we had left a bike at where we would have come out, and then we'd driven up and parked where we started. So he went ahead to try and get the car, and my sister, after a time, she went with him and she followed him. And so then I was by myself. I was by myself in the wilderness for the first time in my life. And at first it was really scary. And I kept thinking about, like, maybe some animal's going to come out of the woods and eat me or something. And I just started walking through the river and just feeling at peace. Just there was nothing else that I could do other than just keep walking. What started out as something terrifying became a source of peace. And I would say that is what keeps drawing me outdoors. And I'm going to end this on a fun one. Which hikers do you like to follow? Okay, so I would say probably the first hiker I ever followed on the AT was Dixie. And then after that, I followed Taylor, the New Hampshire hiker. And most recently, Bad Bat Hikes was probably my favorite. There are a ton of hikers that are preparing for the ATs, so I like to watch just all of them, really. I would say, like, I focus more on people who are starting around the same time as me, because then I know who to, like, look out for when I'm on the trail. I'm just really excited to see everyone's different styles and approaches to vlogging. So I'm following a lot of them right now, but I think when I actually start, I'm not gonna have time to follow all of them. So I'm probably going to pick one or two to kind of keep track of as I go. If you have any more questions, please let me know in the comments, and I'll probably make another Q&A video closer to when I start. I'm going to also be doing some more shakedowns. I have a trip planned this weekend. I'm gonna go up north again, and I'm going to hit a couple of 52 with a view peaks. It's going to be cold, so I'm gonna have my very cold weather gear, my snowshoes. I'm also gonna try camping, winter camping in probably single digits with my setup that I would, with my shelter that I'm gonna bring on the AT. To test out my new underquilt and see if I can see how low I can get that underquilt to go. And also, because I'm going to be car camping, I can bring extra things in case it doesn't work out. So that video will be coming out next week. I'm decided I'm going to switch to weekly videos now because work isn't quite as crazy as it was. So I have a little bit more time for video editing. So I'm hoping that the videos will continue weekly until the vlogs start. And then my intent is to do daily vlogs. They're going to have to be at a bit of a delay because I am going to need time to edit and upload content. I also wanted to update that I do have a Venmo account. I am going to start linking it in the video description, so if people want to donate, that is another option in addition to the YouTube thanks. No requirement to that whatsoever. That's just there because subscriber had requested a way to donate. So if you've already donated, thank you. I'm not going to be working obviously while I'm on the trail, so I'm not going to be getting income. So the donations are really going to help to fund like hostel stays, food. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. So thank you for watching and happy trails.